It's 3 a.m. You have a deadline in 5 hours. The project has been sitting on your desk for 3 weeks and you've known about it for 3 months. But instead of working on it, you've reorganized your entire desk, deep cleaned your keyboard, watched 17 YouTube videos about productivity, made a color-coded schedule you'll never follow, and somehow convinced yourself that researching the history of procrastination is productive work. Sound familiar? Let me tell you about my college thesis. 90 pages. I had an entire year to write it. My classmates started in September, steadily chipping away, meeting regularly with advisors, building their research month by month. Me? I started writing 72 hours before it was due. 72 hours of pure, caffeinated, sleep-deprived panic. No sleep, no breaks, just me, my laptop, and the crushing weight of my own terrible decisions. And here's the thing, I finished it. I actually finished it, and it was good enough to pass. If you're a procrastinator, you know this dance intimately, and you've heard it all. Lazy, undisciplined, irresponsible, self-sabotaging, lacking willpower. People look at you like you're choosing to make your life harder, like you're just not trying hard enough, like if you cared more, you'd just do the thing. Your parents don't understand, your boss is frustrated, your friends are baffled, and you're sitting there paralyzed, hating yourself, watching the clock tick down, knowing exactly what you need to do, but somehow, inexplicably, not doing it. You've tried every productivity hack, every app, every system. You've made countless promises to yourself that this time will be different, and yet here you are again in the panic zone, pulling an all-nighter for something you could have done weeks ago. And the worst part? You're not lazy. You know you're not lazy because you can spend 12 hours researching something you're interested in without blinking. You can obsess over a hobby for days. You can binge watch an entire series or scroll social media for hours. So it's not about work ethic. It's something else, something deeper, something you can't quite explain. But what if I told you that there's actually something fundamentally different happening inside your brain? What if procrastination isn't a character flaw, but a battle between two distinct forces inside your mind, and understanding this battle changes everything? Because once you see what's really going on in there, you'll never look at procrastination the same way again. Let me show you what's actually happening inside a procrastinator's mind, because it's not what you think. Imagine your brain has two inhabitants. The first one, let's call it the rational decision maker. This is the part of you that knows what needs to be done. It's logical, it can see the future, it understands consequences. It's the voice that says, you really need to start that project, or you should probably get some sleep, or maybe don't eat the entire pizza. This is the part of your brain that makes plans, sets goals, and genuinely wants you to succeed. The rational decision maker is why you're a functional human being. It's what separates us from animals. It's the part that can think about tomorrow, next week, next year. It can imagine future scenarios, weigh options, and make decisions based on long-term well-being rather than immediate gratification. Now, in a non-procrastinator's brain, the rational decision maker is mostly in charge. It makes sensible decisions, follows through on plans, and generally steers the ship towards productive outcomes. But in a procrastinator's brain, there's a second inhabitant, the instant gratification monkey. The instant gratification monkey doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about your future. The monkey lives entirely in the present moment, and it only cares about two things, what's easy and what's fun, right now. The monkey's why you're watching cat videos when you should be working. It's why you're reorganizing your sock drawer instead of making that phone call. It's why you're scrolling through social media instead of studying. The monkey doesn't understand consequences. It doesn't learn from past mistakes. It operates purely on immediate pleasure and immediate comfort. And here's the problem. The monkey doesn't take turns. It doesn't politely wait for its moment. It straight up hijacks the steering wheel. The rational decision maker will be sitting there saying, we need to work on this important thing, and the monkey just grabs the controls and says, but this is boring. Let's do something fun instead. This is why you procrastinate. Not because you're lazy or undisciplined, but because there's a fundamental conflict happening in your brain between your rational, future-oriented self and your immediate pleasure-seeking self. And in procrastinators, the monkey is unusually strong and the rational decision maker is unusually weak at asserting control. But here's where it gets fascinating, because there is something that can stop the monkey. There's one force powerful enough to terrify it into submission, And understanding this force explains why you can pull off miracles at the last minute but can't seem to start anything with a comfortable timeline. The answer involves a third character in this mental drama. Let's dig into what's actually happening in your brain when this battle between the rational decision maker and the instant gratification monkey plays out. The rational decision maker lives in your prefrontal cortex, your most evolved part of your brain. This is your executive function center. It's responsible for planning, decision-making, impulse control, and thinking about the future. Brain scans show this region lighting up when you're making long-term plans or resisting temptation. The instant gratification monkey operates from your limbic system, your ancient, emotional, survival-oriented part of your brain. This includes the amygdala, which processes threats and fear, and the nucleus accumbens, your reward center that screams, "I want that pleasurable thing now." In most people, the prefrontal cortex can override the limbic system when needed. But here's what's different in chronic procrastinators. Brain imaging studies show weaker connectivity between these two systems. Your rational brain is trying to send messages to your emotional brain, but the signal keeps getting dropped. The monkey just isn't listening. There's also the anterior cingulate cortex, which acts like a referee between your rational and emotional brain. In procrastinators, this region shows altered activity. It's like the referee walked off the field, so the monkey just does whatever it wants. There's also the dopamine problem. Your brain's reward system is less responsive to future rewards and dramatically more responsive to immediate ones. When the rational decision maker says, "If we finish this project, we'll feel accomplished 3 weeks from now," your dopamine system barely registers it. But when the monkey says, "If we watch this video, we'll feel good right now," your dopamine fires like crazy. The neurochemical pull towards immediate gratification is literally stronger in your brain. This is called temporal discounting, a cognitive bias where your brain devalues future rewards. For non-procrastinators, a reward next week might be valued at 80% of a reward today. For procrastinators, it might only be valued at 30%. Your brain genuinely, biochemically, believes that feeling good now is worth way more than feeling good later. But here's where the third character enters the story. Because there is something that can terrify the instant gratification monkey. The answer is the panic monster. The panic monster lives dormant most of the time. It's sleeping in the corner of your brain, not bothering anyone. But it wakes up when a deadline gets really close, when the consequences of not doing something become immediate and real and terrifying. When the panic monster wakes up, the instant gratification monkey is absolutely petrified. It runs away and hides, and suddenly, finally, the rational decision maker can take the wheel. Neuroscientifically, this is your acute stress response. When a deadline becomes imminent, your amygdala and hypothalamus trigger a massive release of cortisol and adrenaline. Your sympathetic nervous system activates. Your brain switches into survival mode. This is the same system that would activate if a bear was chasing you, except instead of a bear, it's a deadline. And here's the thing, this system works. The panic monster is the only thing strong enough to overpower the monkey. This is why you can write a thesis in 3 days or finish a month-long project in one all-nighter. Under extreme pressure, your brain chemistry shifts so dramatically that the monkey loses control and you enter a state of hyper-focus. But this is also why procrastination feels like it works. Because it does work for tasks with deadlines. You always manage to pull it off. You suffer, you lose sleep, you hate yourself, but you finish. Your brain learns that this system, chaotic and painful as it is, gets results. So it keeps doing it. But here's the terrifying part that most procrastinators never realize. This system only works for tasks with deadlines. And there's a whole category of the most important things in life that don't have deadlines. Things where the panic monster never wakes up. And this is where procrastination stops being a quirk and becomes a life-destroying force. Let me explain what I mean. So you've got this system, right? The rational decision maker tries to take control, the instant gratification monkey hijacks everything, and eventually the panic monster wakes up and you get things done at the last possible second. And for tasks with clear deadlines, this system, chaotic and stressful as it is, actually works. You have a test on Friday, the panic monster wakes up Thursday night. You have a project due Monday, the panic monster shows up Sunday evening. You always cut it close, you always suffer, but you finish. Your boss doesn't fire you, you don't fail your classes. The system holds. But here's the problem. There's a whole category of massively important things in life that don't have deadlines. Think about it. When is the deadline for starting a regular exercise routine? There isn't any. When is the deadline for having that difficult conversation with your partner about where the relationship is going? Never. When is the deadline for pursuing that career change you've been thinking about? It doesn't exist. When is the deadline for reconnecting with old friends, for learning a new skill, for working on your mental health, for building the life you actually want instead of the one you fell into? There is no deadline, which means the panic monster never wakes up, which means the instant gratification monkey is in control forever. And this is where procrastination becomes truly devastating, because these deadlineless tasks, they're not small. They're often the most important things in your life: your health, your relationships, your personal growth, your dreams, your happiness. But without a deadline, there's no panic monster. Without the panic monster, the monkey stays in control, and weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and you wake up one day and realize you procrastinated on the things that actually matter. Not because you didn't care, but because your brain's system for getting things done literally doesn't activate without imminent consequences. This is what I call the dark playground. It's when you're engaged in leisure activities, but you're doing them at times when you're not supposed to be. You're watching Netflix, but you know you should be working on your relationship. You're scrolling social media, but you know you should be exercising. You're reorganizing your desk, but you know you should be pursuing that opportunity. The dark playground is filled with guilt, anxiety, and dread. You're having fun, but it's poisoned fun because you know you're avoiding something important. And because these important things don't have deadlines, you can stay in the dark playground indefinitely. Here's the nuance most people miss. Procrastination isn't really about the tasks themselves. It's about long-term fulfillment versus short-term comfort. The rational decision maker knows what will make you happy in the long run. The instant gratification monkey only cares about what feels good right now. And without the panic monster to intervene, the monkey wins every single time. This is why so many procrastinators feel a deep, vague unhappiness even when things seem okay on the surface. You're meeting your deadlines, you're getting by, but you're not building the life you actually want. You're not pursuing the things that matter. And that gap between who you are and who you could be, that's where the suffering lives. And here's the really uncomfortable truth. Everyone is a procrastinator about something. Maybe you're great with work deadlines, but you procrastinate on your health. Maybe you're great at maintaining friendships, but you procrastinate on your career development. Maybe you're on top of everything practical, but you procrastinate on your creative dreams. We all have areas of life without clear deadlines where the monkey is in control, and we're just hoping someday we'll feel motivated to start. But that day never comes, not on its own. So how do you actually defeat the instant gratification monkey without waiting for the panic monster? How do you take action on the important deadline-less tasks before it's too late? Because what I'm about to share isn't another productivity hack. It's about fundamentally changing how you relate to your own mind. Let's talk about how to actually work with this system instead of being destroyed by it. First, you need to accept a hard truth. The instant gratification monkey isn't going away. You can't kill it, you can't ignore it, you can't shame it into submission. It's a fundamental part of your brain's wiring. So stop fighting it and start managing it. The key is to create artificial deadlines for deadline-less tasks. Your brain needs the panic monster to activate? Fine, wake it up artificially. Make a public commitment. Tell someone, I will finish this by Friday. Put money on it. Schedule an accountability check-in. The deadline doesn't have to be real in the sense of external consequences, it just has to feel real to your brain. Use what I call the panic monster light. This is creating small, immediate consequences that are enough to get the rational decision maker back in charge without requiring a full-blown crisis. Things like, I can't watch TV tonight unless I've worked out. I can't have coffee tomorrow unless I've written for 30 minutes today. Small stakes, but immediate, which makes them real to your brain. Make deadlineless tasks into deadline-full pieces. You can't put a deadline on get healthy, but you can put a deadline on sign up for a gym by Friday, or meal prep on Sunday at 2 p.m. The panic monster can't activate for abstract goals, but it can activate for specific time-bound actions. Here's a powerful one. Make the instant gratification monkey's job harder. Remove the easy distractions, delete social media apps, use website blockers, put your phone in another room. The monkey wants easy and fun. Make the procrastination options less easy and the productive options easier. Have your gym clothes laid out. Have your work materials ready. Reduce friction for doing and increase friction for avoiding. Another strategy, work with the monkey with it instead of against it. The monkey wants fun? Fine, gamify your tasks. Use the Pomodoro technique, but add rewards. Work for 25 minutes, then do something fun for 5. Make a game out of how much you can accomplish in a short sprint. The monkey likes games. Use that. Try temptation bundling. Only listen to your favorite podcast while working out. Only drink fancy coffee while doing difficult work. Only watch that show while doing chores. Your brain starts associating the hard task with the reward, which makes the monkey more willing to cooperate. But here's the real key, and this is what most productivity advice misses. You need to become aware when the monkey has taken control. Most procrastinators spend hours in the dark playground without even realizing it. They're on autopilot, the monkey is driving, and they're not even conscious of it. So practice metacognition. This means thinking about your thinking. When you reach for your phone, pause and ask, is this the rational decision maker choosing to take a break, or is this the monkey hijacking me? When you start reorganizing instead of working, notice it. The monkey has the wheel right now. Just noticing, just becoming aware, sometimes that's enough for the rational decision maker to take back control. Not always, but sometimes, and sometimes is better than never. Here's another critical piece. Address the underlying emotions the monkey is protecting you from. The monkey doesn't just want fun, it wants to avoid discomfort. So what are you actually avoiding? Fear of failure? Fear of success? Overwhelm? Perfectionism? Resentment about the task itself? If you're procrastinating because you're terrified of not being good enough, no amount of productivity hacks will fix that. You need to address the fear. If you're procrastinating because you secretly hate your job, the problem isn't your discipline, it's your job. Sometimes the monkey is trying to tell you something important. And finally, practice self-compassion. Beating yourself up for procrastinating just makes it worse. It adds shame to the emotional pile you're already avoiding, which gives the monkey more reason to seek comfort. Instead, treat yourself like you treat a friend who's struggling. Like, yeah, this is hard. I understand why you're avoiding it, but let's try to do just a little bit today, okay? Here's what you need to understand. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not disciplined. You're a human being with a rational mind and an impulsive mind constantly fighting for control. And in you, the impulsive mind is just a little bit stronger than average. But knowing this changes everything, because now you know what you're dealing with. You're not fighting against yourself, you're managing two different parts of yourself. The rational decision maker, the instant gratification monkey, and when necessary, the panic monster. That's your system. That's your brain. And for tasks with deadlines, your system works. It's chaotic and stressful, but it works. The real danger is the deadline-less tasks, the important things you keep putting off because there's no panic monster to save you. Your health, your relationships, your dreams, your growth. So here's my challenge to you. Think about your own life calendar. You've got a finite number of weeks left. Seriously, picture it. Boxes on a grid. Each box is 1 week. How many do you have left? Maybe 3,000? Maybe 4,000? What are you procrastinating on that actually matters? What's been living in the dark playground for months or years? Because the most important procrastination isn't about the report you'll finish eventually or the email you'll send tomorrow. It's about the life you're not living while the monkey is in control. And here's the thing. You'll probably procrastinate on thinking about this too. I know I did. Even after understanding all of this, even after giving this exact talk to myself, I still catch the monkey at the wheel all the time. But at least now I see it, and seeing it is the first step to changing it. So what are you procrastinating on right now? And more importantly, what would happen if you didn't wait for the panic monster to make you act? What if, just this once, you let the rational decision maker take the wheel while there's still time? But you know what? You'll probably think about that later.